Top boxing promoter rips moment influencer flashes crowd after win. We live in ing mental world. Daniela Hemsley flashed the audience after defeating Alexandra Daniel. Eddie Hearn, one of the top boxing promoters in the sport who has put together fights for Anthony Joshua, Canelo Alvarez and Katie Taylor, ripped one of the moments from a card Saturday night that featured OnlyFans models and social media influencers. In one of the bouts for Kingpin Boxing, Daniela Hemsley took on Alexandra Daniel, known on social media as Ms. Danielka, in the promotion's influencer tournament. Both women boast thousands of followers across various social media platforms. Hemsley won the bout via unanimous decision 48-47, 48-47, 49-46. She celebrated with her team and at one point flashed the audience and the live TV camera. Hearn was asked about the moment in an interview with Boxing Social and completely tore it apart. I think if I start preaching, people will just moan at me anyway, but you always ask for my opinion. My opinion is I hate it. I hate it. We've worked so hard for women in boxing to be respected for their ability, for their merits, for their hard work. One thing we must understand is, that ain't boxing. And that needs to be pushed, Hearn said. All that stuff, misfits, kingpins, it needs to be booted so far away from professional boxing, and we really need to disassociate ourselves with what it is. It does great numbers. It's entertainment. It's all of those things. And what we saw there tonight. For me, what I'm trying to do and what we've been doing for years and years, the sacrifices people have made to be respected, it's not boxing, but at the same time I think it's more of a reflection of society than a reflection of good or bad for boxing. I don't like it. In his point on the societal issue, Hearn lamented the lack of role models for children and how a lot of people are just chasing clout. The problem today is you want kids to have great role models. I have 2 daughters. When my daughters spend time or have met Katie Taylor, it's the greatest thing I could ever see, the Matchroom Sport chairman added. Them, looking at a female, who has achieved so much and shown them that anything's possible, even when everything's stacked against you, anything's possible. I think what we're lacking in society at the moment is role models. And unfortunately, we now live in a world where role models, or influencers, are not necessarily doing things that the older generation, which I class myself as, or parents would want your kids to see or think is acceptable. Nothing to do with women, nothing to do with men. You want your kids to behave in a certain way. That's not the way you'd want your kids to behave, in my opinion. This is only my opinion. But we live in ing mental world. Unfortunately, clout is just being chased all over the place. Each to their own. That's her world, but not for me.